All right, so we're back. Here's the deal. There are ways you can find the determinants of 3 by 3s. Any square matrix has a determinant, so as long as the dimensions are the same, you can find its determinant. There are two ways that they talk about in the textbook to find the determinant of a 3 by 3 matrix. The first way is doing diagonals, kind of similar to what we just did. What you're going to do is this. You are going to take the first two columns and write them again on the outside of the determinant, and then you're going to multiply the diagonals of 3. So A1, B2, C3, B1, C2, A3, C1, A2, B3. You're going to multiply those going down. So from top to bottom, you're going to add those up. So you're going to get three numbers. You're going to multiply them together and then add them up. And then you're going to go bottom to top. A3, B2, C1, B3, C2, A1, and so on. You're going to multiply those together. You're going to get three products. You're going to add those up, and then you're going to subtract them. So this is somewhat similar to what we did with the 2 by 2s. It's just a little bit more complicated. If you look at example 3, they work it out. They've got this matrix here. So they take the first two columns and they write them outside, and then they do the diagonals. 4 times 10 times negative 1, negative 1 times 1 times 2, 0 times negative 3 times 6. Multiply them, add them up, they get negative 44. And then they multiply going up. 2, 10, 0, 6, 1, 4, negative 1, negative 3, negative 2. Multiply those three numbers together, those three products, add them up, they get 18. Negative 44 minus 18 is negative 62. Now, they say, oh, check using a calculator. Yeah, you can. And to find it using a calculator, I'm going to show you. Let's scroll down to here. What you want to do on your calculator, remember we talked about this last week. How do we do matrices in the calculator? You're going to do second matrix, and you will notice, remember you've got the three columns. You've got names, you've got math, and you've got edit. So first thing you're going to do is go to edit and enter your matrix. It'll want your dimensions, n by n, and then the entries, and then make sure you quit, and that will store the matrix there. Then we're going to go back, and this time we're going to go to the math menu, and that's the middle column, this guy here. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at the very first option. Option number 1 is DET. That stands for determinant. So I wouldn't bother doing this with a 2 by 2 because it's really quick, right? The 2 by 2, A, B, C, D, it's just AD minus BC. You might even be able to do that in your head. But with a 3 by 3, I would definitely edit your matrix and then go to math and use the determinant that way. That is a much easier way, I think, to do it. So they say use your calculator to check. I encourage you to do that, but you know what? I can't stop you from using it to do it the first time. So that's it. Now, here's the thing. You can also use Cramer's rule on 3 by 3 matrices and to find systems with 3 equations, 3 unknowns. And we can talk about other ways to do that. Cramer's rule isn't necessarily the easiest way to do this. It is kind of a pain in the butt, but again, you replace the x values with the constants, and then replace the y values, and then replace the, in this case, the z values, and you work it all out. And it can be done, and you can do it. And here's actually how it's done here. A nutritionist is planning a diet for football players. They want to consume 3,600 calories and 750 grams of food every day. Protein and fat is 60% of the total calories. How many grams of protein, carbohydrates, and fat will the diet include? So basically, a gram of protein has 4 calories, a gram of carbohydrates has 4, and fat has 9. So total calories, 4p plus 4c plus 9f has got to be 3,600. Total grams, p plus c plus f has got to be 750. And since 60% has to come from protein and fat, 4p plus 0c, no carbs, plus 9f has to be 2,160. That's 60% of 3,600. So they say use a calculator, and I would too. Find that determinant matrix. It's negative 20. And then we're going to replace the constants in column 1 to find the value for p, 720. Replace it with column 2 to find the value of c, which is our second variable. It ends up being 360. And then replace it with column c to find our last variable, f, that's 120. So the diet here has to have 270 grams of protein, 360 grams of carbs, and 120 grams of fat. And there it is. Now notice that they have to have a value for c here, even though it's 0, because otherwise it doesn't work. You don't have a 3 by 3 unless you have a 0 in for a missing variable. So that is something very important to know. All right, so we're going to work on this for a couple of days. You're going to have an assignment today and an assignment tomorrow. And hopefully we will talk more about this when you guys get back so that we are all on the same page here on doing this. And if you learned something, smash that like button, and I will see you hopefully next week. Bye.